Ethical business is any business that takes account of the supply chain, the workers, the product, and isn't just geared around short-term capital gains, isn't just involved in the transaction, but actually is looking at the well-being in a wider sense, so the environment from which, say, coffee beans come from, or the London living wage for those involved.
An ethical business is one that matches the ethics you have. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be one that you would find moral under some basis, but it is a business in which you use the ethics and morals that you hold as part of the guidelines for running it.
One which takes a concern about the people, whether they are the clients or whether they are the employees or whether they are actually the investors as well. But actually it's about relationship, and I believe that that's what easily gets lost in the business practices of our culture today, which is simply about the profit motive. But the most important thing, more important than profit, is actually the relationships between people, the transactions between people, the giving and receiving between people.
Well, from what I've been hearing, it's having a business that will benefit others in the way of Christ, but people are not looking to help people, they're looking to help their business, and they make their business run, and they use whoever they can whenever they can. And so I think that's quite wrong. I think we're making people like animals instead of humans, and we need to look at that part of life.
I think the thing that really interested me and excited me from the examples that were given today was the Clean for Good business, where they were talking about disrupting the way in which the cleaning industry works because of a lack of concern within that industry for the people who work within it. And their business model is seeking to demonstrate that it is possible to make a profit and care for the people who work within your company in a way that simply doesn't happen within that industry at the moment. So that was very exciting and interesting for me to hear.
Ethical business models that are ones that help society can be found all over. There are small individual people just doing the best they can, there are partnerships, and then there are larger social enterprise or businesses that are run for profit that are just making sure that the ethics and morals that the trustees and board of directors hold are things that are embedded in the company as a whole.
I think there's a great growth in smaller ethical businesses, be it coffee shops, barbers, bakers, a lot of the startups that you see, but also we see the problem of businesses being corrupted. We see that with the very large businesses that have taken over public sector contracts, for example, 0 hours contracts as well. So maybe it's easier when you're smaller, and maybe what we need to find is a model for larger businesses.
Particularly the Clean for Good, I thought, was really interesting in that it was trying to, and what it's doing, it's achieving a relationship between, establishing a relationship between themselves, the business, the cleaners who are getting a living wage, but also the companies which are using their services, and recognizing that actually cleaners are people, and that building a relationship with people is whether it's with your cleaner or your employer or with your the customer is just really, really important.
By having things like this, having seminars, going to churches, inviting other people to see, you know, I think this has been a very good day. I was very pleased to come and hear what people are doing, and think, so we need more of that.
Well, one action I'm certainly going to do is look at my grateful, and the next time we have a staff lunch, and we're going to have some very good food, I hope. So, and actually we need to be recommending one another. We need to be aware of one another. We need to be networking and recommending. and yeah, making sure we know our cleaner. That's a good point. I know my cleaners, but I'm in a small setup.
Promoting ethical business models outside of the church is tricky. You need to do it by making money. Because if you make money and show that profit can be made while still being an ethical business, then people are willing to do. The London Living Wage discovered that they were able to prove that paying your cleaners more meant you had less staff turnover, you had less staff illness, and that you maintained a higher quality of cleaner.
I think the key challenge that was articulated was how you balance out the importance of making a profit, whether that's a profit that goes to shareholders or a profit that's reinvested in the business and the community, and how you balance that with care for people, both the people that work for you, your suppliers and your customers as well, and thinking through how to balance those things out ethically and effectively was, I think, the key challenge that was thrown out today.
We've had a really good seminar here today looking at the issue of ethical business, and it was great to bring a whole range of people together, people who are actually leading ethical businesses themselves, as well as people who are keen to learn, church leaders keen to learn what does it mean to do ethical business. And I think the things I really learned today from the discussion we had was that ethical business is really a part of our mission. It's about what we do as churches cooperating with God to bring about a fairer world. It relates to our values, particularly values around justice and around dignity. It relates to our practices, not least the way we treat people, the kind of relationships we have. There was a really strong narrative today about not just seeing people in terms of the transactions, financial transactions that happen in relationships between people, but about actually looking at the value of people's lives, how they're impacted by the transactions, financial transactions that take place. What are the social transactions that are important as part of an ethical business? And it was great in particular, I think, to hear from Clean for Good. You know, there's a business that what they're doing is they're encouraging companies to ask the question, when you've got a cleaning contract, how are you making those cleaners visible? How are you seeing the people who are doing the work that you benefit from when you come to a clean office in the morning? And I thought it was really good that they're going around and they're encouraging businesses to ask that question, and they're providing a cleaning service, which is for people, it's for people who are fully on the London Living Wage, and it's for people who are on full-time rather than on 0-hour contracts. So that was great. What I think about ethical business in the churches is that churches can have a key role in promoting ethical businesses, just as we promote other events and charities. Let's not be shy to promote things which are about making a profit, but also actually about the people who are involved in the profits that are made. So I think we should be promoting businesses, and I think actually we should be agitating as well, like a lot of churches are doing in relation to promoting Clean for Good, agitating by going around and saying, you know, what are the arrangements for your cleaning? Is what you're doing ethical? You know, are you actually making sure that you're seeing the workers that are cleaning your property? So it was a great day, lots of learning, lots of things that we'll take away, some challenges as well that we'll rise to in terms of thinking about how we can promote training opportunities. But all in all, a great day, a great learning, and something that we'll use to resource churches across London on promoting ethical business. It was so good today to have the food at the end of the day provided by My Grateful. What a wonderful organisation that is. That's a social enterprise that's bringing together migrants, bringing together also volunteer refugees who are unable to work, and giving value to people, and then also giving an income to those people who are able to receive income, and doing it in a way that's actually opening people's eyes to the contribution that migrants are making to our country. Wonderful model of an ethical business, and it was great to see the people who actually provide the food that we were eating today.